Nicole and Rue. Welcome back to the channel. For today's video, I am super duper excited to be partnering up with Cirque Colors to share a very exciting addition to their jelly lineup. I have their new Dayglow collection, which features 6 brand new neon jelly nail polish shades. For everyone who absolutely loved last month's Vice collection, I feel like the Dayglow collection is going to be right up your alley. The Dayglow collection is available right now on the Cirque Colors website, and since these are neons, the Dayglow collection is considered limited edition. If you would like to pick up anything from this release, you can of course use my handy dandy affiliate code, which is Nicole Loves Nails, to save you 10% off the entire website. All of the polishes featured in today's video were sent to me by Cirque Colors, and this video is also sponsored. Thank you so much, Cirque, for sponsoring today's video. I greatly appreciate the support. In the description box, I will have links to where you can pick these polishes up, the Cirque website, social media pages, my social media pages, and I feel like most importantly, there will in fact be some comparisons in here because as it turns out, I have a lot of Cirque color jellies. So yeah, let's just get right into this video. Because these are jelly shades, you basically can wear them built up on their own if you want a more sheer wash of color on the nail, or you can choose to layer them in a jelly sandwich that involves this layering with other polishes. You can use the jellies to tint other nail polishes if something a little bit too cool toned, you want to warm it up. And of course, you can also do a variety of nail art applications with jellies as well. As I always say, the limit to wearing jelly nail polishes really just comes down to how creative you want to be. Because these are indeed neon shades we are working with, these are going to be a bit more difficult to show the vibrancy and just neon-y goodness on camera. I tried my best. Let's get into this video. Going in rainbow order, because that's how we do things over here, we have Watermelon Sugar Jelly, and Cirque is describing this one as a neon pink jelly nail polish. Watermelon Sugar Jelly had a fantastic formula. The pank is panking in the shade. We got another cat now. I did find that this is a slightly more warm toned pink shade. I found when I brought this one out into natural light, I had slight lobster hands. I do think that the large reason why I had lobster hands in my natural light shots really comes down to the fact that when I was swatching this one, it was at the end of the day. I think it was around like 5:36 p.m. So the sunlight was very, very, yellow and warm. And I think that's why I had lobster hands. Spoiler, I had this one on for the rest of the day into the following morning, and I didn't find that my hands looked lobstery in like less warm tone lighting. The base did not feel overly thick or thin, and 0 application issues. As I have been saying the past few months now, my nails are pretty damaged at the moment, but I did still find that this applied really nicely on my slightly uneven nail surface. My problem nails are my middle nail and my ring finger, and I didn't have any issues with applying this polish over those nails. I didn't find that it pooled or anything on them. To showcase this polish in a jelly sandwich, I ended up layering this one with the Cirque polish called Fantasia. For my jelly sandwich, I did 2 layers of watermelon sugar. Then I did 1 layer of Fantasia, then another layer of watermelon sugar, and then because I was feeling extra, I did another layer of Fantasia. This is generally my go-to way of doing jelly sandwiches with jellies. What's going to be a surprise to absolutely no one, I was head over heels with this color. As I already said, I got to wear this one overnight, and I really enjoyed how this one looked even just like on its own. Because this is a jelly shade, it is going to remove super duper easily, and I did not personally experience any staining with this shade. The next polish up is called Lava Jelly, and Cirque describes this one as a neon red orange jelly nail polish. Lava Jelly also had a really fantastic formula. It didn't feel overly thick or thin, 0 application issues. Lava Jelly also applied really, really smoothly. I didn't have any issues applying this shade at all, and it applied so smoothly over my problem nails. Color-wise, I do agree with Cirque's color description for this shade. It's a very neon orange color. It's a very red toned orange shade. I feel like it goes like slightly towards almost a coral color. Coral. But not like a pinky coral, very much an orangey coral that's on the more warmer side. I am very, very picky when it comes to my neon oranges. I don't know what's going on this year. I feel like I have been enjoying red tone oranges way more this year than I have in years past. I didn't experience lobster hands with this shade at all, so I think that's probably why I liked it so much. Once again, I showed this one built up in 3 coats on its own. For my jelly sandwich, I paired this one with Cirque's Topper Starlight, and I really loved it with the addition of the reflective glitter. I feel like Lava Jelly is a fantastic name for an orange in this color. Because this is a jelly shade, it of course is going to have visible nail line when built up in 3 coats. It's a jelly, duh, it's supposed to. I feel like this jelly shade has the perfect amount of pigmentation to it, where like it's still very obviously squishy and just jelly-like, but you still get a really good color payoff with it. My swatches are showing Lava Jelly in 3 coats on its own plus glossy top coat. Super easy removal, of course, because it is indeed a jelly. And I did not personally experience any staining with this shade either. The next polish up is called Sunshine Jelly, and this is a neon yellow jelly nail polish. I feel like this is probably going to be the most divisive color in the collection. For whatever reason, so many of y'all think that yellow jellies look like pee, and I still find that incredibly weird.
That's weird.
I do believe Sunshine Jelly is now going to take the spot as my new favorite neon yellow jelly. This one applied so dang beautifully. This is very much a bright, warm, sunshiny yellow. I fully expected this one to be very, very finicky, but I didn't find it to apply finicky at all. Admittedly, across the board for this entire collection, I didn't find any of the polishes like I had to really think about applying. I didn't have to float my coats on. It just applied super smoothly and very evenly. Because this is a yellow, however, this is the most sheer of all of the jellies in the collection. Even though I went in slightly thicker on my live swatch, I still did not get anywhere close to full opacity with this shade. It is very much just, you know, a yellow jelly. I do agree with Cirque's color description. This is a really fun, bright, sunshiny yellow. Honestly, this kind of reminded me of like a jelly version to Cirque's Hedonist a little bit. I decided to switch it up on how I showcase the funness of this jelly shade, and I opted to pair this in one layer with Cirque Colors Tail Feather. Tail Feather is usually this beautiful teal shade with these gorgeous iridescent flakies, which by the way, Cirque, I'm still waiting for y'all to release more polishes like this.
And you're gonna give me what I want. You know what it is. Give me what I want.
Of Sunshine Jelly over Tail Feather, and it gave this beautiful grass green color. This is another really fun way to play around with jelly shades, by the way. I feel like oftentimes people think jellies, you have to do nail art with them. And I myself, I don't do a ton of nail art. I feel like if you're gonna catch me wearing a jelly, I'm gonna be layering it over something else or pairing it with some toppers. I will fully admit, I was very concerned about Sunshine Jelly staining my nails. So when I did my swatches for this one, I was wearing a whopping 3 layers of base coat in an attempt to prevent my nails from being stained. I didn't notice any more yellowing on my natural nails, so I don't think this one is a stainer, but as someone who wears a lot of yellows, I always look at yellows a bit more suspiciously as far as staining goes. So if you're concerned about that, layer up on base coat however much you want to. Super easy removal because it is a jelly. The next polish up is called Acid Jelly, and Cirque is describing this one as a neon green jelly nail polish. Acid Jelly also had a fantastic formula. This is a super bright neon green. I feel like this is very much in that kind of acidic slime green. I feel like while this is absolutely perfect for summer, this is going to be amazing for any kind of Halloween nail art. So my natural nails have a very slight kind of yellowy tone to them. They have definitely gotten stained over the past few months of wearing nail polish constantly. So I did notice while I was swatching this one out, I feel like because my nails are kind of, they're fairly yellow at the moment, I feel like it made the overall look of the polish more yellow toned on the nail than it was in the bottle because my nails are, yellow. Which I don't feel like it took away from the polish at all. If anything, I feel like it made it look more slimy, which I was really digging. While I would still say that I found Acid Jelly applied really nicely and very evenly, I did find that out of all the polishes in the collection, this was the one that I found myself kind of concentrating more on my application out of the other polishes. I feel like if you overwork this one, you could run into some issues. Since Acid Jelly is, a jelly, nothing in here is going to dry down texture. It does dry down fairly glossy on its own, but you will of course want some glossy top coat. Super easy removal, and I did not notice any staining upon removal. The next polish up is called Blue Hawaiian Jelly, and Cirque is describing this one as a neon blue teal jelly. Blue Hawaiian Jelly also had a fantastic formula. This was the polish in the collection that I had the most difficulty in getting it to be color accurate on screen. You'll see later on in the comparisons portion just how much blue tone this is in comparison to Cirque's other blue and green jellies. I do agree with Cirque's color description for this shade. This is a very blue leaning teal. I feel that it does have quite a bit of kind of green in it to make it that more teal shade, but I found like every single camera that I own, it really wanted to show up as more blue than it was teal, but just be aware it is in fact very teal leaning. Color correcting my best here, folks. Blue Hawaiian Jelly also had a really fantastic formula. It applied so smoothly, very evenly. I had no issues with it at all. I went in a little bit thicker on the live swatch than I did for my full hand swatches, so you can kind of see how the varying degrees of opacity in 3 coats, I guess we could say, with this shade. Because this is a jelly, I obviously still had very visible nail line both on my live swatch nail as well as my full hand swatches, but I feel like my live swatch definitely got like a smidge more opacity than my full hand swatches did. As someone who is an absolute sucker for any kind of teal shade, I love the addition of this color. I will admit that even though this shade is a bit less bright neon than some of the other colors in the collection, it is still a very neon-y vibe, as you're seeing from the black light shots. I absolutely love the jelly sandwich that I did for this shade. This shade paired so beautifully with Cirque's Silver Lining, which is a silver flaky topper. I feel like kind of layering the whole thing up, the tealish bluish base kind of tinted the flakes a little bit, so it almost looks like I put on teal flakes in here, but it was in fact silver initially. My full hand swatches are showing Blue Hawaiian Jelly in 3 coats on its own. I did notice that this one dried down a little bit more dull than some of the other colors in the collection, so you will of course want some glossy top coat with it, but super duper easy removal, and you know, it's a jelly. And I did not personally experience any staining with this shade. The final polish in the collection is called Grape Jelly, and Cirque is describing this one as a neon purple jelly nail polish. Grape Jelly also had a fantastic formula. I feel like this one was a smidge more sheer than Blue Hawaiian Jelly, but still it had plenty of pigmentation just like I want and love from a Cirque Colors jelly. Similarly to Blue Hawaiian Jelly, I feel like I also went in for a slightly thicker coat for my live swatch than I did for my full hand swatches. So once again, I feel like my live swatch nail got a smidge more opacity, but still very obvious visible nail line. And as I'm constantly saying, purple neons, they're not quite as neon-y as like pinks, oranges, and yellows, but as you see in the black light shots, this one does indeed glow under black light. I really love this tone of purple. I do think that Grape Jelly is a little bit a warmer tone of purple, not so warm that I would say it leans like fuchsia or pink. It's very solidly in the purple color family. One thing that I found super fun about Grape Jelly, when you bring this one under black light, it does glow pink, which I don't know what color I was expecting it to glow, but pink wasn't the color that I was expecting. I decided to do a jelly sandwich with this polish with Cirque Colors Chemistry, which is a silver magnetic polish. Because this is a jelly shade, Grape Jelly is going to remove super duper easy, and I did not personally experience any staining with it. We're going to interrupt the video really quick to showcase a technique that I did not know existed until recently. Y'all know how I feel about magnetics, that in my personal opinion, the velvet effect is the superior method for magnetizing your polishes, but I also know that a lot of people are, one, drowning in wand style magnets. I feel like we all have 1 or 20 of them, and 2, the horseshoe style magnets are a bit more expensive. So I've got, what are you doing back there? I want to credit Nail Art by Sig for this particular style of velvetization because that is where I first saw this used. So you just take 2 of the wand style magnets and you put one going this way and one going this way, like this. It's on screen. We don't need my hand movements to show. It's on screen right now. I will fully admit it does take a couple of tries to get the magnets just right in this kind of way because the magnets do want to like stop and smooch a little bit, but I found it super easy to use 2 of Cirque's magnets to do this technique. So you just put the 2 magnets side by side to each other and you stick the nail that you want to magnetize in between the 2 magnets. And in person, I couldn't really tell the difference between my nails that I magnetized with the Cirque Colors horseshoe style magnet or using 2 of Cirque's wand style magnets. You get a really good velvet effect both ways. For my full hand demo, my pointer finger and ring finger are with the Cirque Colors horseshoe style magnet, and then my middle nail and my ring finger are using 2 of the wand style magnets. I feel like this is a really good way to use the magnets that we all have. Alrighty, let's get into some comparisons. Going from left to right, as always, right here we have Watermelon Sugar Jelly. Right next to it here we have Flush Jelly, XOXO Jelly, Lolly Jelly, Guayaba Jelly, and then over here we have Pink Lady Jelly. None of these I would say are terribly similar to Watermelon Sugar Jelly. I feel like as far as vibrancy goes, XOXO Jelly is also really vibrant and saturated, but not quite in the neon category. I feel like in comparison to Watermelon Sugar Jelly, this looks almost kind of magenta leaning, but like a pinky magenta, not like a magenta that has purple. But I feel none of these other pinks have quite the level of brightness as Watermelon Sugar Jelly. And because these are jellies, I'm just gonna lift them up so you can see just the amount of sheerness they have, because again, they are in fact jellies. Jellies. And to compare to Lava Jelly, I pulled out Jarritos Jelly, Amber Jelly, Sherbet Jelly, and Saffron Jelly. Once again, I wouldn't say any of these colors are terribly similar. Saffron Jelly is a very kind of peachy colored orange, and I feel like you can kind of see how this one over here, how it's not quite just orange, like it has like a little bit of warmth to it. And again, because we are working with jellies, here is the like sheerness level of the jellies. Next up to compare to Sunshine Jelly, I pulled out Mango Jelly, Citron Jelly, and Piña Jelly. So once again, none of these colors are terribly similar in my mind. Sunshine Jelly is super, super duper bright, especially in comparison to these other shades. I feel like Piña Jelly seems to be leaning like slightly kind of not quite orange, but as if it has like a teeny droplet of orange. In my personal opinion, I do think that Sunshine Jelly is the best yellow jelly that Cirque has come out with. Cirque did also release another jelly called Go Away. It was in a limited edition release. It is quite literally in transit to me, so hopefully I'll be able to compare it in a short. And here is the sheerness level of everything, because again, they are jellies. Next up to compare to Acid Jelly, I pulled out Starfruit Jelly, Lime Jelly, Kelly Jelly, Toranja Jelly, and then finally Jade Jelly over here. Obviously, Acid Jelly is a big difference from these other colors here because this is of course a bright neon green. I don't think any of the other Cirque green jellies are as anywhere near as bright or in the same kind of color tone as Acid Jelly. I feel like all the other tones of greens that we have are a lot more naturally occurring tones of green as opposed to like a bright acidic green. And then here is everything lifted up so we can see opacity levels. And to compare to Blue Hawaiian Jelly, we have Curacao Jelly, Verdigris Jelly, I don't know how to say that, and Toranja Jelly. Also, I feel like I'm saying that wrong as well. Try my best. This is gonna be the hardest color comparison because currently what I'm seeing on screen, that Blue Hawaiian Jelly and Curacao Jelly are both pulling extremely blue on camera. So I'm gonna try to color correct these. I'm really hoping that my camera's not gonna do me dirty and make these all look blue. But as far as colors go, I feel like these three shades here are all different types of tealish turquoisey colors in my opinion. I do think that Toranja Jelly is the most greenest out of all of these. I purposely put them in this kind of color order to show what I thought was the most blue tones over here to the most green tones over here. That's why I put them in this order. I know I was thinking ahead, shocker. For Blue Hawaiian Jelly and Curacao Jelly, the biggest differences between these two shades, I would say that Blue Hawaiian Jelly is a smidge more saturated than Curacao Jelly. I feel like it has a bit more pigmentation to it than Curacao Jelly as well. And then in comparison to Verdigris Jelly, Verdigris Jelly is what I think of as a true teal. It doesn't lean too far towards blue or too far towards green. And Toranja Jelly very much leans super strongly towards green with like a droplet of blue in my opinion. I feel like you can really see how much more pigmentation that Blue Hawaiian Jelly has in comparison to the other shades. Did I go overboard or what? So to compare to Grape Jelly, I pulled out Lilac Jelly, Pitaya Jelly, Berry Jelly, Acai Jelly, Fig Jelly, Eros Jelly, Blurple Jelly, and Ube Jelly. I basically pulled out everything from Cirque that I thought could count towards like anything that was very purpley in tone. I will fully acknowledge that this section over here is not the most purpliest of the bunch, but we're trying our best. So color-wise, I would say that Grape Jelly, the most similar color that Cirque has to it is probably going to be Eros Jelly, but Eros Jelly is significantly darker. This is more of a royal purple. And Grape Jelly, in my mind, this is like the tone of purple that we see a lot in summer collections. It's a very bright neon-y purple. I feel like it definitely has a home over here. I'm pretty sure that these are all of the purple jellies that Cirque has done, I think. And I'm genuinely shocked that we have no real overlaps here. I don't know, I feel like that's really impressive for this many purples. I didn't pull out like a gray toned purple because I didn't think it'd be comparable to this because, you know, gray. And then here is everything lifted up, barely fitting on screen. Alrighty, let's get into some final thoughts. shades. As someone who is a big fan of Cirque Colors jellies as well as Cirque Colors neon shades, this collection made me scream. Like, I was so freaking excited when I heard Cirque was going to be doing these. I love how bright and fun these shades are. I feel like these are going to be perfect for jelly sandwiches in the summer. And as someone who owns a lot of Cirque Color jellies, I am always genuinely shocked when Cirque releases more jelly shades, because in my mind there have been so many. It's like, oh, what colors are we missing? And I feel like neons, Nicole. Neons were the answer. So I am super duper pumped to have these added to the Cirque Colors jelly lineup. As someone who loves rainbows, I also really love that we got a full neon rainbow in this collection. As far as my personal top picks go, I feel like no one is going to be surprised by this at all. Watermelon sugar jelly is going to be my top pick from this release. It is pink. Y'all could not expect me to say no to a neon pink. But my second top pick is going to be sunshine jelly. I just love sunshine yellows, and I just really love, I don't know, I just like a neon yellow jelly. I also really like sunshine jelly. I feel like I want to put that one back on my nail, so that's definitely making it to my top picks list. But this was a 10 out of 10 collection in my personal opinion. As far as pricing and sale information goes, the Dayglow collection is available right now on the Cirque Colors website. And since these are neons, the Dayglow collection is considered limited edition. Cirque Colors prices their jelly shades at $12.50 each for an 11 ml bottle. There will of course be a bundle listing available if you want to pick up all 6 of these shades. That bundle listing is going to be 10% off. You can also use my affiliate code, which is Nicole Loves Nails, to save 10% off the entire website. I would love to know what everyone else thought of this release. Are you planning on picking up? Have you already picked it up? What are your thoughts on neon jellies? Also, I would love to know how everyone personally likes to use jelly shades. Before we end today's video, I want to give a very special shout out to my channel members. Shenanigans, Storm fans, your names of course, all on the screen right now. For my folks in the Shenanigans tier, we do have a members exclusive live stream happening today if you're watching this on Friday. So I'll see everyone later today at 4 p.m. for our members exclusive live stream. As always, signing up for my channel memberships is completely optional. Just like the video, comment on the video, subscribe if you have not yet already, and all that is greatly appreciated. So just thank you all for joining me for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks again, Cirque, for sponsoring today's video. I hope everyone has a lovely week, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye! Water. It was requested to me that y'all can actually see what shirt I am wearing in these videos, so just remember in the future, this was asked for. Really, we gotta go get your nails cut. Your nails grow faster than mine do. As far as pricing and, ooh, why am I? Since when does my chair rock? Am I sitting on something? That's weird. When I get high, I ain't looking at the clock, still ballin' like Brian. Yeah, I'm headed to the Bucks, then I'm ballin' like yeah.